You are listening to chartingwealth.com for Wednesday, the 25th of January, 2017. Jump right into things. Got a lot to share with you today. So excited about it. Markets are up. Both the Qs, that's the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500. Gold down and bonds down. But we have come across some occurrences we want to share with you, particularly with our weekly changeover. That is when we have a trend change and we have a crossover on the weekly PPO. We have discovered something and back tested and going to ask you to help us out. We'll talk more about that at the end of the program. We promise to try to get through these charts in 10 minutes, but it's very exciting. If you haven't listened to that last training we did on using verticals, that is our vertical identifiers of changes in trends on both the weekly, the 2-day, and the 2-hour, please do that. And we'll talk more about these ideas and the exciting things that we've uncovered for helping you find exciting changes in trends and ways to really make you rack up profits in your virtual trades. Now, again, remember, we're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm. We don't call stocks for you or ETFs. We want you to train with us, get good with these charts, then you make up your own mind when and if you want to spend your own money. Let's jump right in. S&P 500 up 0.64% for the day. Still not enough to pull the 2-day trend over. We're still in a market downtrend. Now, if we look closely, we can see that we have actually closed higher than we have closed on a 2-day chart in a while. It's just the first day of the 2-day chart. It could lose all of it tomorrow before the candles formed. We've had lots of indecision over the 8 past spinning tops, 3 red spinning tops, 1 green, and then up movement during the day. If we look intraday on the first day of this 2-day candle, on the 2-hour chart, we can see the charts crossed over after idiot hour. That is around noon, and shot up. Doesn't mean a lot for the S&P 500 because, like we said, the 2-day chart is still in a confirmed downtrend. Weekly chart's in an uptrend. When the 2-day chart's moving in the opposite direction of the weekly chart, we don't trade on that chart. We have too much schizophrenia going on. So we're waiting for this pullback to end and then the ability to actually jump in and trade. What did happen, though, for those of you who paid attention to what we've been saying over the last few days, bing, 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 money shot. We had the 2-day chart move over all the way back on something like, what is that, the 8th of December, and then the weekly chart moved over on the week ending the 6th, I believe, of January. Yep, somewhere around there. And the 2-hour chart, we were waiting for a nice crossover, and bingo, look what happened in the afternoon. On the that's right, on the 2 o'clock candle, crossed over going up. Entry point. How many of you guys were paying attention and jumped into a virtual trade at that time? Well, let's see how well it works. We have something else to share with you also about this weekly changeover, something that we have seen in the charts. We're going to get to that at the very end of things. Ask you to help us and back check how effective an idea that we have that could make you millions of virtual dollars. So anyway, we'll share that with you at the end because it is most fascinating to see how well it works. Okay, let's keep moving through these charts. Going back to our 2-day chart. We're going to look at TLT next. What is that? Well, that is bonds. And what do we see bonds do? Bonds crossed over going up back on the 22nd. That was Thursday the 22nd on the 2-day chart of December. But we still don't have a weekly crossover yet. Went up for many, many days. And then for the last 3 2-day candles, really only 2.5 because we only have the first day of this next 2-day candle, bonds have been trudging down again. Now, we don't have a crossover yet on our weekly chart, so we had no trade in that. We said, is this a bottom? Well, it's not confirmed yet and hasn't crossed over. And the week has not concluded, though. we do see the derivative oscillator continuing to gain energy. And if we do have a crossover on that weekly chart, then maybe we will call that a bottom, and we'll see how well bonds ride back up. But it hasn't happened yet. Now, with that weekly chart, let's drop right into gold. Gold has crossed over. It hasn't closed, though. We don't have a close on this crossover. Those of you who remember, we've seen TLT actually cross over. It did over the last week, and then it backtracked on us because it ended up going down during the course of the week. It didn't have this strong enough up move to actually sustain it. So until the market closes until the candle closes for the weekly, we don't call a crossover. That's the danger of trying to jump in early. Now, gold is looking pretty good so far. It has crossed over, and we'll see if that's locked in by the end of the week. It may very well be. So that is where we are. Gold still in a confirmed down move, trying to cross over, going up on the weekly. What we'll be looking for on gold, of course, is the 2-day chart, still in a confirmed up move, although it really does look like gold sliding sideways and could be getting ready to come back down. We'll just have to wait and see as far as the 2-day chart goes. What's going on the 2-hour? There is a pullback underway. So once that pullback ends, if it does rotate back over going up, could be an entry point. Gold is getting ready to tap, it looks like, that 2-day trend line. Will it go through it or will it bounce off of it? Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? We don't call that. Now, those of you who are gold bugs know how well our 4-hour chart had worked for us after we got out of January last year up until December of 2016. Then it stopped working. Not sure yet. It crossed over going down and then rotated back over going up. So we're not calling our 4-hour chart as being our supreme trading chart yet. Will it work again? It may, yet to be seen. Folks, that's where we ended the day. Those of you who just want to listen to how we analyze the charts, you can go away now. Hope that you enjoy. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I know people do have other things to do. I would not, however, because something that we have discovered that we've been working on and looking at ever since I sat around on a Friday afternoon and started using these vertical lines and really using those as signals. One thing that I found over and over, my friends, when I looked back on my charts and I found that there were weekly crossovers, I kept trying to decide, when I see a weekly crossover, when does it make sense to actually enter? And our weekly crossovers, for the most part, are usually pretty decent. There's usually enough up movement to make a trade on the weekly chart and actually make some money. We do see a false positive right in about mid-year of 2016. There was a drop and it was only for 4 weeks and then it shot back up again. But one thing that we've gone back and backtracked and learned is when you see a gold crossover going up, we've tried to figure out, how do you find a trigger for that? And one thing we've gone and back tested. Remember, we only call a crossover on the weekly chart after the Friday close of the prior week. And so, for instance, on the Qs, we saw a crossover closed on the week ending Friday, January the 6th. Now, this is the first time it's happened this year. And we're tracking all of our trades this year to tell you just how well our purposing has done, how well our plan does. I don't know anybody that does that, but that's what we're doing. And what we saw is the market actually crossed over going up on the weekly chart on the 6th of January. Now, we noted if you let idiot hour pass and you jump into the market at 10:30 the following Monday, and I'm going to go to the daily chart now. So the market closed crossing over on the 6th of January. If we go to the daily chart and go to the 9th of January, we found that at 10:30 if you went in with idiot hour ending and bought, you would have gotten in at 121.30 on the Qs. The Qs closed at the end of the day on the 24th up with a high. Well, it actually closed at 123.88, so up right just over, well, actually over $3. It's actually $3.50 or so. So what we're trying to do is find, and we've gone back and we've tracked several of these crossovers to see how well they work simply using that simple, and again, remember, everything we do here is about simple and easy techniques that regular people can use who actually have jobs and work and do other things for a living, but are trying to figure out how to make money in the market, or at least not lose money and get screwed when they put things in the market. And we've gone back and backtracked this, and particularly in the best times of the year, the fall winter trading zone, summertime, I'm not going to, bets can be off. But even then, as we started tracking things that worked, we found time and time again, when you use the weekly chart and you jump in at the right moment after idiot hour the following Monday, regardless of where things are on the 2-hour chart, just jumping in, we kept finding over and over again that things actually worked, that it gave you good entry points again and again and again, whether it was an up move or a down move. There was enough movement to capture a decent profit. Now, those of you who are into options, you can also practice this with options, such as going in, purchasing an option at 10:30 the following Monday. I want you to start practicing this. Now, again, I give you that caveat. I'm not telling you to go out and use real money. We're not a stock calling service. You don't pay us anything. We don't give you that kind of advice. But we want you to practice and try these things and see if our ideas work. We look like we look to all of you to work with us. We're all in this together. We don't charge you for anything we do. I do this primarily because it makes me think about the market every single day. It makes me a better trader. It makes me a better investor, because to teach, you have to actually know more about your subject than you otherwise would just sitting by yourself, writing stuff down or thinking in your own head. The ability for me to speak out loud and present this information to you every day is a great blessing for me. I think I benefit more than you possibly could, and I know how much a lot of you think you benefit, and that's great. I can't tell you how much I benefit and how much it helps me and how much better an investor and a trader and just a thinker about the market I have become. So I wanted to share that with you. Because again, the whole reason I always look to the bigger charts, I learned this early on. The bigger the chart, the bigger the money. The bigger the chart, the bigger the move. These day traders who get in on the 5-minute chart, the 3-minute chart, whatever these little bitty charts are, they're trying to make a nickel here, a quarter there, 50 cents here. I don't want that. I want to make $5, $10, $20, on something like the Qs that's $120, $124. And when you start looking at being able to get options, and oh man, then it starts blowing your mind. Just a thought. Those of you, particularly you engineers out there that love number crunching, spend some time, my friends, going back in these charts. Tell me what you think. We got to go. Thanks so much. If you don't already subscribe to our service, please do so. Go to chartingwealth.com. Give us your first name, email address. We will pop you out the market reviews that we do every day, plus our comprehensive review once a week that we do over the weekend and have in your mailbox sometime, usually on Sunday, sometimes as early as Friday. And we just appreciate you. You appreciate what we do. Go to iTunes, subscribe to Charting Wealth. Give us a 5-star rating. You guys have made us as high as number 6 in the world as far as stock market podcasts go. Also, go to our YouTube channel, sign up, say something nice about us, subscribe to us. And also, you want to help us out, Facebook, Twitter. Please continue to like us at our Facebook page, Charting Wealth, and continue to subscribe to our Twitter. We put stuff up there for you constantly. God bless you guys. Thanks so much. Let us hear from you on these ideas in particular. We don't usually ask you for a lot of feedback. If you need help, that's what we ask you to send us. But I want your feedback on this stuff. Again, when you come up with great ideas and suggestions. That's the reason we went from the MACD to the PPO, because of one of you making that suggestion. So thank you again. God bless. Thank you, my friends, from chartingwealth.com.